Hi everybody, with DayZ 1.14 you may well be wondering what is hidden inside that gas. What is inside the contaminated area, for example the big shipwreck up on the northeast coast of Chernarus. Well, let's dig into the XMLs and find out. So what we've got here, this is the types.xml for 1.14. This is the experimental types.xml, so this may well change when it comes to the full release, but let's dig in and have a look. So let's do a search, and they've Adam and the team have created a new category or usage tag for the game, which is contaminated area. So this will be stuff that can spawn within like the ship, so those specific areas, not dynamic ones, not the ones where the shells come in and it creates. This is other stuff. So let's have a look. You may well be very, very surprised. So first off, the AKM only spawns in the contaminated area now. Now don't worry, the AKS-74U still does, but just contaminated area. The AKM, or the normal AK assault rifle. The AK suppressor only in the contaminated area. The ASVAL only, or the ASVAL only in the contaminated area. At least it's there and not in helicopter crashes anymore. The anti-chem injector. So this is the bit you need. This is like the EpiPen. This is like the epinephrine injector. Only in the contaminated area. I think that will change really for full release, because it's not fair, is it? Because if you're just wandering around the countryside and you're bimbling along, especially, I could see this happening in cars. When you're zooming along in a car and you don't realise a chemical strike has come in and you drive through a town and then you get ill, you're just going to die. You're not going to be able to fix yourself. But yeah, only in contaminated areas. The contaminated area dynamic is a type. Now that's interesting. That is very interesting. Why is that there? We might be able to do some playing around with that. The Kazur optic only in a contaminated area. To be honest, I don't know what that is. The M4A1 only in contaminated areas. Again, I'm not sure about that. It also says there's only one of them, which seems a bit tight, but you know. The M4 suppressor, the 45 round for the AK-74, only in contaminated areas. The 40 round standard mag, contaminated areas. The VSS 10 round mag, military air. So that's probably on helicopter crashes as well. Oh no, tier 4 and contaminated areas. Starlight optic, this amazing new night vision 6x scope for M4s and Pioneers, only in the contaminated area. The VSS, only in contaminated areas, and only one of them. All right, okay, so that looks like that's it. Now, this may well change for the release of the game, when it comes to public. However, what we're seeing here, I think, is very much a change in the gameplay loop that you can do in DayZ now. So normally, what you could do is, say you would spawn at the coast, wouldn't you, and then you run inland to get kitted up, and then you would go to, say, the Northwest Airfield or Tizzy or military bases to get your military equipment, to then have some PPE fun, wouldn't you? PvP fun. Sorry, you would do that sort of stuff. Now, what's different is that some of the really good guns are in a contaminated area. So the gameplay loop is get some NBC PPE. So get your jacket, get your trousers, get your boots, get your gas mask. Then get some weapons, because you are going to need some weapons if you go to the contaminated areas. There's going to be people there, so get a shotgun, get a Mosin, get a submachine gun, that sort of stuff. Then head to the ship to get your M4. Then head out, and then head up to Tizzy or Northwest Airfield, that sort of stuff. Now, remember, PPE, NBC PPE, you can get it at fire stations, you can get it at medical places all over the map, and then the grey stuff you only get in tier 4 military locations, I think, northwest. So you want to be hitting fire stations and you want to be hitting medical places to get your stuff. But there we go. Interesting. I think that's a really interesting play on the gameplay element in the game. And remember, if you've got a custom private server for PC, Xbox, or PlayStation, we can mess around with this. Now we also have the contaminated area. We can think, okay, so what other things might you want to hide in the contaminated area to kind of give this extra bit of effort that players need to put in. I mean, I talked about it on a video yesterday about, hey, maybe you could have the contaminated area as a safe zone. I know this sounds a bit crazy, but you could have if you control the supply of NBC PPE on your server, so to make sure it all doesn't spawn in, and then as an admin you're the only one who can spawn it in, maybe in a special truck if you're on console, or you could just spawn it in with admin controls, couldn't you, as a on PC. You could then create an area that only those people can go in with that sort of thing. I don't know. It's something that we can think about. I think I'm sure greater minds than mine will come up with ideas. But there we go. That, for 114 experimental anyway, is what you will find in the contaminated areas. It's quite interesting stuff. I'm sure it will change for the full release though. Anyway, that's enough from me. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. I will of course see you again soon. Bye bye.